I'm Cal Rooks. I live in Seattle, Washington, and Greenwood. I'm a retired contractor, formerly a physics geek in high school and college, and I have a BS in psychology in '94 from the University of Washington. I've got an invention here I think of some importance. I'm going to read some material that I have written about it, which include an invention of how to control tornadoes, and also a theory of vortexes in general, a general theory of particularly wind vortexes, and then also a second idea or invention of how to cope with tornadoes before they start. So it's going to involve a little bit of reading here, and here we go. So I wrote this theory and posted it on Facebook first, because I had this idea that I thought was incredible that came to me on Sunday, May 29th, as I was sitting in a service at Salvation Army in Greenwood, and I was thinking about how to deal with tornadoes, what, if anything, could be done. I began to think about it, and some great ideas occurred to me. So, date on the 31st, I was forwarding this to Dr. Albert Bedard at NOAA, N-O-A-A, National Oceanic Atmospheric something, and I said, hi, Sunday I had this idea while trying to think what a tornado was and how to control them. It seemed like simplifying it to this one model and then working with the differences helped me to develop a theory and then a solution, and I'm sending it to you for your consideration and evaluation. I also thought of another completely different possibility to deflate the conditions that form a tornado before it starts. If we have a microwave gun or a laser gun big and strong enough to burn some holes in an overlying blanket of cold air pressing down on the big bubble of light warm air, and it would have to be done before the pressure builds up too high, or you might just start a tornado with which it just might come down and suck up your microwave, and if you didn't run, maybe you. So my first idea is mundane and mechanical in comparison, but probably more reliable and enduring, I believe. And so I send the attachment. Please excuse the attempt to make my own patent. I was pretty excited at the time, as you can imagine. I look forward to your evaluation. Yours truly, Cal Rooks. Okay, so here's what I posted on Facebook. Now, I said, invention to control tornadoes, my patent pending. Okay, to the community at large, United States of America and its citizens. Okay, here goes. Only way I can think to patent my invention to control tornadoes. So I, Calvin Rooks, do hereby patent and reserve all rights to myself in the understanding and basic method I have just invented today to control tornadoes in whatever section they occur in our country and indeed our planet. I hereby post and am first in right to my knowledge and certify that it is my own idea, not aided by anyone else. Basically, that tornadoes exist because heavy, colder air held aloft by warmer air below it is trying to go down, and the lighter air is trying to go up. And much as a simple drain anywhere, like the one in your kitchen, at home, a vortex forms and exchange takes place. This is done wherever conditions start the vortex, and as we know, moves across the land, destroying all in its path. Now, since these paths are made wherever they occur, could they be seeded to happen in less populated areas? And I thought, no, a better idea might be to make a tube or a pipe, if you will, open on the bottom and approximately up to the height of the tornado and approximately the same diameter, and put it in, okay, and you see, and make it in areas where needed away from harm on vacant land and let it to be a fixed funnel to move the air, whether up at high speed or low, accomplish a change without harming much in worse areas, just right in a fixed location. Much like a lightning rod, if you will, handles lightning. The tubes may alleviate or eliminate a lot of the tornadoes from even happening in that vicinity by allowing an exchange of air to occur prior at much lower speeds. And this could be a very important part of this, and it should happen automatically. So the quantity needed in the design would be experimental, and they would be placed in strategic locations around populated areas in the highest probability of tornadoes, and to protect us. And I first thought that they should be open up about 20 feet off the ground to allow enough space for the air to enter or exit as needed. And first I actually thought that the air would come down just exactly like the water in a drain. It's cold or whatever, it just goes down because of gravity. And then I realized, well, hey, tornadoes suck, don't they? So up, it's got to go up. And that it was an inverted drain actually compared to a kitchen sink. So let me see. Let me get some glasses here. I'm having trouble reading this. Very fine print on this email. All right. So I further thought that the funnel is actually an inversion of my sink drain model, with warm air rushing up through a hole and heavy, colder air barrier above it, with resulting in a whirling chute reaching all the way to the ground. A lot of that hot air is a ways up, so tornado is larger at the top and the bottom, opposite of my inverted sink drain model, because of the differences in the two situations. So maybe the tube should be somewhat funnel shaped and maybe needs inlets further up the side. It may be indeed the tubes could be started much higher, up like 100 or even 500 feet off the ground. The important thing is that they provide the drain pipe to move light air up through the barrier of the heavy air on top and create the movement that is needed to eliminate tornadoes in the vicinity and or channel their energy harmlessly. So I see this as probably working without any additional help from anything. However, if in practice it needs a fan or a torch, like a hot air balloon, to help prime that pump or start that siphon, then so be it. So I've explained what a tornado is: like a bowl of water going down a drain that forms a tornado. If the drain is fast enough, even before the water is low enough to see an open chute. That the drains could provide a lightning rod, if you will, or a drain to bleed the lighter, warmer air through a drain pipe that penetrates the barrier of heavy cold air above in a fixed rather than random moving location. They probably will prevent many local tornadoes in the vicinity from forming in the first place by bleeding off the pressure as it arises, and that this should work without much other equipment made from aluminum, titanium, polycarbonate, steel, or probably steel reinforced concrete, whatever material will do the job. So I got grandiose here and said, so if tornadoes just become obsolete, I think we can beat them locally at least. And I do. I think that is a feasible thing, kind of expensive. Anyway, Cal Rooks, Sunday, May 29th, invented approximately noon while in the Salvation Army service. So at any rate, I started thinking, well, what's going to happen here is people are going to have to believe, be convinced, scientific community, that vortexes indeed do form from this pipe action that I've just described. So I did some more thought about it and tried to put down my thoughts a little bit better and more organized. And June 3rd I wrote, which was 2 days at least after I pretty much thought this up, but looking for something to help me write, like getting my software, my speech recognition software working, and I just couldn't do it. So finally sat down and typed with my hand, which I hate to do. So here I go. This is an extension of my invention to control tornadoes, which I developed last Sunday, May 29th, and since sent to NASA and NOAA to Dr. Beddard. And he said, I believe that all wind vortexes, when boiled down, are caused simply by warm air mass or bubble of whatever size and shape and pressed down by cold air blanket above, and thus, under pressure, tend to spring one or more leaks. With the warm air rushing upward and the cold air pressing all around it, it forms a pipe similar to a drain pipe in your house and the spinning water that goes down your drain. The obvious difference is that the air going up, so the drain is inverted. So a water spout, hurricane, tornado, or any other wind vortex occurs to bring equilibrium through this unbalanced situation, namely cold air over lighter, warmer air. The tornado, for instance, empties the air bubble and it's spent, it's over. No more reason for that tornado as soon as that pressure won't support, as the declining pressure won't support it. My theory says that water spouts that look like they start on a calm lake are really starting from up above, where warm air is penetrating the cold air and spinning until the funnel reaches the water. As it touches the surface, the water starts to move, and then more strongly as more wind and vacuum in the vortex keep developing downward, the force, of course, spinning and sucking upwards. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine, honey. I'm right in the middle of this. I'm right in the middle of filming this again. I'm putting a video on this. Yeah. So I'll see you. Anything you need to talk about? Oh. Okay. Yeah. So did you get in that in time or not? Okay. All right, honey. All right. See you, bye. Okay. So, I said as it touches the surface, the water starts to move, and then more strongly as more wind and the vacuum and the vortex keep developing downward, the force, of course, spinning and sucking upwards. Then water starts spraying, you see the water spout. So, the vortex forms from the hole and in the pipe, forming the layer of cold air above, and the warm air rushing up from the pressure built up by the weight of the cold air on it all around causes the well-known spinning. And that works its way down until it touches the ground of the lake or the ocean. And with that, I'm basically done. Wind, pressure ridges, wind shears, rain, dust, everything factors in, and why tornadoes move, why their chutes blow around this way and that. Where they start, that kind of thing. But the cause, hey, tornadoes, even just to follow their supply of warm air, is exhausted. They empty bubble. But the cause is this alone. The pipe action is, and the pressure on it going through that pipe, that's what creates the spinning, and that alone, nothing else. Okay, so other